Alright everyone, I always like to chastise the UK's royal family. They're not a very likable bunch. I thought it was funny because, like, you know, you had people with the thing with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Princess Harry actually went on Oprah, you know, that grifter. The one that spawned Dr. Phil, born backwards out of her ass. But right now has allegations against him of abuse at his his ranch for naughty children, including Daniel Bergoli, of all people. I covered that the other day, but it was an exclusive, because Dr. Phil's a disgrace, so, you know, you have to use colorful language, so you have to take it off of YouTube. Anyway, the British royals. Sometimes people on the right are like, well, they're more of a bastion of traditionalism. They at least like the Queen or something like that. And I'm like, no, they're all inbred, number one. They're cretins, number two, that pissed away an empire for no real legitimate reason. And they're abysmal failures. I have no respect for monarchism as a system of government, even when it's basically a vestigial trapping. And that's basically what it is. I mean, the doctrinal power of the Queen of England is basically, in theory, could dissolve Parliament, causing massive riots, and that's basically it. Basically, it's like, well, your lineage is associated with all of the royalty that we used to have, all the nobility and power that we had 100 years ago, and so we're going to keep you on board and give you a stipend and let you continue to live in a palace, and that's basically what it boils down to. Well, now they've gone woke, or they're considering going woke. And they're talking about getting a diversity czar for the royal family. And what this relates to is basically, because there are allegations now from you know, Markle and Prince Harry of racism there, of bigotry in the UK's royal family, discussions about what color your baby will be, and stuff that may or may not have actually been said. Now, that's a public relations crisis, and so they're considering the possibility of hiring more people of color and disabled people and LGBT for, like, you know, the royal functions, Buckingham Palace upkeep and shit. So in other words, they're going to hire more Hispanic janitors. It's basically what it boils down to. This is an example of the kind of wokeness that corporations engage in. Like, you'll have Walmart say, well, we're proud, we hired 5% more Latino workers, or, you know, we made sure that there was a 30% increase year over year in female workers or gay workers. It's like, okay, yes, the people that you already pay peanuts, and won't let unionize, by the way. You want to avoid discussions about meaningful things, wages, working conditions, sick leave, unionization, by deflecting, by putting up a facade of wokeness and diversity and tolerance and all of that fucking cliche shtick. The royal family is now acting like Walmart or something like, or McDonald's. That's doing exactly the same thing. Biden has done this. You talk about, well, we have our first gay transport secretary. Who fucking gives a shit, dude? That doesn't take anything away from the incompetence of your administration. Oh, the vice president is a black female, South Asian, but you know, they're considered the same thing by the Democrats now, which is astonishing how people don't see how bigoted that is. Look, we're diverse. So the fact that the screw-ups in our administration that are making your life miserable and raising taxes, maybe starting a war, that they're a different shade than they were a couple of years ago, you're not allowed to criticize them as much, because then, obviously, if you don't like Kamala Harris, you're either sexist or racist, depending on what you have between your legs. And they do that. It's propaganda. It's cheap propaganda, too. How much would the wokeness czar get? £100,000 per year to organize 10% LGBT inclusivity in our cooking station, one of their 3 kitchens or whatever. That's great. Okay, so now the person that gets, you know, sexually assaulted by, you know, Prince whatever it is, will be of a different shade of skin color. Yay! They'll have different genitals. There'll be a different courier that brings underage individuals into the rape dungeon. Woo, yippee! But it's the same dysfunctional inbred royal family. It's the same as corporations. The dysfunctional, abusive, environment-degrading corporation that, you know, gives kickbacks to politicians and, you know, I don't know, profiteers off war or something, like a Raytheon. The fact that there are fewer white people working there or fewer males doesn't really change the dynamic of the company in any meaningful sense. And yet and by the way, both political structures and corporate structures have, in an organized capacity, been pushing wokeness. The wokeness is not an organic thing that came from some random people around the dinner table saying, you know what? We should have more diversity in the world, like corporations should be held to a different standard. The corporation realizes at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether it's fleecing a white person or a black person, it's still fleecing them. But if it fleeces the black person at the right level, they can make that headline news. Nike is now more diverse than ever, the first company to have a 50% black workforce or something. And it makes the news, and it increases their corporate brand. But the thing is, the corporations and political elite have created the importance of wokeness in the first place artificially. What you do, here's a way to screw with people's minds on a massive basis. Create artificial importance for some social goal that is ultimately, at the end of the day, completely meaningless. Wokeness, inclusivity, diversity, all of these catchphrases that have been so artificially and carefully tailored to the population as a part of a linguistic propaganda strategy. You create the importance, and then you let the companies, the politicians and stuff that you support slowly inch their way towards that goal. They'll never achieve it. There will never be any reason that they would want to. It's just a way of them screwing with you by deflecting from all the other things they're doing. Oh, Buckingham Palace is racist? Well, we've got a diversity czar. We can't be racist. Yes, the people that cook our food, the people that serve us our overpriced taxpayer-funded food, now they're from Morocco or something instead of being English. This is a big thing. See, the culture in the Buckingham Palace is changing. Oh, Walmart, we've stopped exploiting, in this store, we had 30 young white men that we were underpaying. Now we've got 25 young white men, a couple of females, and someone who's Hispanic, and a couple of Eskimos. Whoa, we're woke now. See, we need to be in the news so that people come and say, oh, how wonderful, oh, you're hiring different people. Like Burger King the other day on Twitter, where it said, well, women belong in the kitchen if they want to be. Yes, you want more women to flip burgers. Great. More low-wage jobs that don't pay a living wage, trust me, for female workers. Instead of the acne-scarred 19-year-old dude, you've got the acne-scarred 19-year-old chick, and this is an improvement. It'll change the food. It'll make it healthier, and it'll make it more tolerant. Well, it doesn't. See, it's propaganda. The only reason to even talk about it is in the context of it being propaganda. But yeah, they're going to go woke now. So the British royal family is 100% white and to the point of inbreeding. All of a sudden, the people around them will be a little less white, so, you know, or a little bit less straight. So we're supposed to reward them for that and say, oh, see, they're trying so hard to be like the modern world. Well, they're not. They're a relic of, like, the 16th century, dude. The fuck? That's about all. Peace out.